morning. It is dark 30. Technically, it is 5:15, and I'm just waiting for my mentor to come pick me up so we can drive the hour to Norwich to Cutix Everything Bees. There's a lot of us who are picking up our bees today, so I'm sure I'll see other people from the beekeeping club today. But Steve has been very generous to offer to take me over so he can help me through this process. I need my... excuse me, I need my tea to get going, but I've got all my stuff laid out. I have my smoker all set up and in the wagon out in the driveway. I need to still put the sugar water jars out there so we can get those, have those ready to go as soon as we get back. And I will take you along as much as I can, or as much as I remember to. I'm a little anxious about this process, so we'll see what happens. But I at least want to show you Cutix because it's a really amazing place. Cutix Everything Bees, and in March I spent several hours here working with Lindsay, who runs the place, to get all of my equipment. So if you think I've got a lot of stuff, you should see everything that they've got here. It's amazing. So these are all the parts that we were talking about yesterday, the hive bodies, the frames. I'm trying to decide if I want to get queen excluders to put on top of my boxes. I won't need those for probably at least a month or two, because I want to get 2 of the mediums put on top of my hives. But you don't put them all on right away. You do it as each section starts to fill up. So I'm getting some more fuel for my smoker. I'm getting some extra feeder lids. I'm getting a queen catcher just in case I need it. And I've got to ask to see if they're like these little shelves that attach to the side of your hive while you're doing inspection, so you have a place to set your frames. I'd really like to get one of those, but I may end up having to order that online. We're a little bit early for our pickup, but we're all set for that. We're at the start of the pickup time. Pickup is from 7 till 8. Before the bees get flying, we want to get them bagged up and in their transit. They do not seal the nuke boxes up at night when the bees all get in, so they will have been free to come and go. So we'll probably end up leaving a few behind, but we definitely want to keep them because we're in a closed car, and so this is going to be an exciting ride home.
And they're lined up here.
Thank you very much.
You can scoot around this way. I think you can fit.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay.
Roll boxes or something?
No, I got wooden boxes. that the other marked? Okay.
Okay, I need one more.
Yep. Oh, oh, get out of my hair. Oh, get out of my hair. There's one right in my hair, right there, and I can feel it crawling on my head. No. Ow! Shoot.
Gotcha.
Yep. But it's still there.
Let me see you, ma'am. Come this way.
Hang on.
I'm gonna help you out.
Yep. I'm not moving.
Let me see.
It's right. Yeah. Right
you
just
go.
below there. Oh.
Like this. Any more in there?
I don't think
Well,
so.
there's more around, so I'd go ahead and get back in
Yeah,
your car.
we're waiting on one more box. Oh. Well, I got that out of the way. Oh, I got one in my hair and it stung me right on the scalp. Oh, that one hurt. We were talking on the drive up about how different parts of the body, do they feel differently when you get stung? And oh, I was comparing it to tattoos, how different parts of the body definitely you're more sensitive to. Oh, but yeah, getting it on the skull, that one hurt. All right, our last box is here, so I think we're gonna get on the road. Alright, believe it or not, this is actually an approved method for picking up your bees, is carrying them in your car. You can see Steve's got the side windows open to give them some ventilation. We talked previously about how you don't want them to get overheated, but even though they do need it fairly warm for the brood, we want to keep the hives from getting too hot. They are, you can see some of them flying around back there. We've got them in mesh bags, which should keep the bulk of them in the hive, but there's still going to be some that get out. Which is why we're wearing the veils, because we don't, as I just proved, you don't want to get stung on the face. Steve's already gotten stung on the face once today. What'd you say, you got 3?
Maybe 3.
All right.
Maybe 3.
So, yeah, they did not want to be woken up this morning. So we've got an hour drive back to my place, and then we'll get these unloaded, and then we're going to leave them the heck alone for at least 6 hours and give them a chance to settle down and get familiar with their new surroundings, and hopefully then we won't have as many grumpy bees when it's time to put them in the hive. All right, we made it home with no additional casualties. I've got to run in the house and get newspaper from my smoker. We're gonna chill these bees out a little bit since they're very cranky. The guy who bagged them up gave them a good hard shake, and they did not like that at all. So we're gonna smoke them to calm them down a little bit, and then we're just gonna take my 2 nukes out to the hives and just set them there, get them out of the bag, which is the scary part. And then we're just going to leave them alone for a couple hours. Around 7 o'clock tonight, then I will move them. But I'm going to put you away because we got to pay attention to this. We'll just take these off. I'll give them an extra squirt. It won't hurt them, right?
Right.
But I'm not going to reload these.
So we are May the 4th, 2024. Getting ready to install brand new bees from a nuke package.
All right, so these are brand new frames, never been used, and we're going to, Steve very kindly brought me a bottle of sugar water that we are going to spray on these foundation, just to make it more appealing to the bees, so that when they start moving in, they've already got food in the pantry, basically. All right. Because it's still early in the season, we do have, obviously we have all the dandelions out, and I'm not messing with those too much. And now we're starting to get the serviceberry trees blooming and some of the others. So there's a little bit more, but they're going to need feeding for a little while they're getting established. So that feeder I was talking about, it's got 4 holes. And we've got the sugar water in the jars. They just fit right down into those holes. One of the jars tipped over while I was bringing it out, and we lost a bunch of the sugar. So I'm just going to refill that, and I'll bring it out tonight when I come to feed them.
There are tiny holes in the tops of the jars, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And as Steve was showing me earlier, if you just tip it on its side, it's just going to pour out. But if you turn it upside down, it seals it, so then it only comes out as the bees are sipping at it. Unfortunately, this fell on its side in the box I was bringing it out in, and that's how come it all spilled out. All right, so we've got those in place. Now we're going to put this medium hive box around it just to keep wasps and other insects from getting into it and trying to steal the sugar and getting in the way of my bees. I'm going to make sure everything's as lined up as it's going to be. And then this lid fits around the whole thing, seals it all up, so nothing can really get in that way. The only entrances are on the front of the hive. We have a hive reducer here. I've got it set to the smallest setting so that the bees don't have to defend it against too much. It'll be a lot easier for them to protect the hive. And then when I come in for their first major inspection, I'll probably turn it to make some more space so it's easier for them to come and go.
And for come and go, you have the hives facing toward the south, right?
Yes. So that is southeast. Sunrise is right there, so they'll get the first sun in the morning and know it's time to get moving. All right, so the only thing left to do is to get the bees out of the car.
The fun begins.
It's going to be fine. It'll all be fine. So we gave them a good scare with the smoke, which kind of sort of encouraged them to go inside and rescue their honey. But now that the smoke's not there and they're opened up, they're gonna start communicating with each other and figuring out, hey, this is a different place, we gotta figure out where the hell we are. Which is why we want to leave them alone for a couple of hours, just so they can start doing reorientation flights and figuring out what's going on. So we still need to open this one up. Oh good, it does look like more of them have gone in. So they look better. So the bees smell the smoke and they think that there's a forest fire and that they've got to rescue the hive. So that's what calms them down. It's not that they're drugged or anything. It's they're focused on other business. And we're fine with that. They can stay as focused as they want, as long as they chill out. All right, so let's get this bag off. All the bees flying around is kind of intimidating because there's so many of them. But once you get used to the idea that you've got this veil between you and them, it's not quite so bad.
Yeah, it's about building confidence and understanding how they react and what their normal activity is. Did it. Maybe the hive tool will pull these out. Just get in there and
Give it a twist.
lift it up, yeah.
Now normally I wouldn't want to stand right in front like this because I'd be in their flight path. But they aren't flying anywhere right now. They're figuring out what the hell's going on. We're going to leave these bags here and open just to give those bees that are on it a chance to figure out where they're going.
Yeah, we should be able to let everything settle. We'll give them a few hours. And once they get settled into their new home, then I believe you can take the hive tool and pop the lids off. Take all this off first, and then transfer them.
All right, that's it for stage one. Managed to get through that without getting stung, so I'm going to count that as a win. So now we're just going to let them sit and explore their surroundings and get accustomed to their new location. And then tomorrow it's supposed to rain off and on all day, so we really want to get these installed tonight. So Steve has given me my marching orders. We figured out how to open the nuke boxes because I would have been trying at the last minute and freaking out because I couldn't figure out how to open it. And it looks like you just wedge your hive tool under the edge of it and pry it up. I had asked Steve on the drive up if I was going to have to worry about them having cemented the box together with propolis, and he didn't think so because he didn't know how long they'd been in these nuke boxes, but it does seem like they've had enough time to get some propolis built up. But all right, I'm going to get Steve on his way home with his unhappy box. Oh, I almost left my tea that I couldn't drink the whole way home.
Your cold
My
tea.
cold tea. All right. I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. There's a plant sale over in Cobleskill. I've got my compost coming at 4. So I'm going to kill a couple hours. I don't want to dig in the garden. But I will see you later on. Just like that, I'm in compost. This is not bad stuff. I'm very pleased with it. It's maybe a little denser than I would like, so I definitely want to try and find some leaf mold or something like that just to lighten it up a bit between this and the dirt that I've got up there. But this is going to put a lot of life back in that soil, and I'm going to be mulching with hay, so that will help get some of that organic matter, loosening it up in there. So I did arrange to get another load of this delivered next week sometime. We're supposed to get a lot of rain over the next, off and on over the next week or so. But I want to get at least one more load of that. That should hopefully help me get all those beds done. But of course I want to do all the trees and all of that. So there's a lot yet to do. It's all fine. It's all good. That's what we want. And if I have to get a load a month for the whole summer, that's fine. It's going to get all of the gardens here under some kind of control and turning into the kind of growing space that I really want to have. All right. I want to get some dinner and then go move the bees. All right, so I am headed over, and the process for this is going to be as simple, as straightforward as possible. We aren't going to do a lot of messing around. I'm just going to take apart the hive, make sure everything's set in that, and then once everything is ready for that, and I'll smoke the bees. Okay. I'll smoke the bees before I get into the hive to give them a chance to settle down. And then once they're all settled, then I will open the nuke and move the frames into the hive. Now, that's the theory. In practice, we'll see how that's going to work, because I've never done this before. I have Steve on speed dial, so if I have any issues, I can call him, and he just lives up the road. So he said he'd be happy to come over and help out. But I want to try and do it at least once on my own, just to know I could do it. Now, I don't see a lot of activity at either box, so they may have put themselves to bed for another night, which is exactly what I want. But I'm not going to get any closer without having my protective gear on. So I'll see you without the hood in a little bit. definitely didn't go as planned. Unfortunately, the suit I was wearing at the time was in 2 pieces, not zipped together, because stupid me figured I was only ever going to need the veil. I just had the jacket for emergencies. Well, thank goodness that after last weekend, I ordered a second jacket from Better Be that was the same as the one that I had worn there. That was all 1 piece. Which is what I ran off the field to do. It's not good to leave the bees open like that. They really should only be open for a couple of minutes if you can all manage it, especially because of the temperature that the brood needs to maintain. And you know, it's 65 degrees out now, which feels wonderful to us, but it's not great for bees. So I had to run back to the house. Thank goodness I'd opened the box before I came down. Sorry, that was Steve calling me back. He's on his way to rescue me. The second nuke, the problem I've run into is that the frames are stuck to the lid, and I could not get them to pry loose with my hive tool. And I guess between getting stung, can you see my lips swelling up here? Yeah, I got that one. I got one here. I got one on the back of my neck. So between the frames being stuck and my loss of confidence from putting the first hive in place, I hit the panic button and called Steve. So he's on his way over. And we probably won't record any of that because I got to pay attention and we've got to get this sorted out. But beekeeping is not easy. It all makes sense on paper. I understood everything I was supposed to do, all the steps, and the bees did not agree. and that's how you know you're working with a living organism, because a whole hive is one organism that all works together to keep everyone alive. And but I will learn and I will get better with time. But we got to get through this first. So I will report back when Steve gets here.
I'm proud of your accomplishment and know it's going to get much better.
Well, it certainly can't get much worse, except for killing them all. Thanks to Steve's help, we managed to get everybody where they're supposed to be. The first hive, we got everybody out of the nuke who decided they just didn't want to budge. Steve just gave it a good whack on the ground and they all dropped, and he shook them into the top, and we gave them a brush and let them do their thing. The second one, we double teamed that one. Steve was on one end of each frame and I was on the other, and we just pried him up and moved him, pried him up and moved him. We couldn't see the queen in there, but we saw the worker bees at the doorway telling everybody this is where to go, so we are confident that she's in there somewhere. And I guess we'll figure it out in a week when we go in for inspection. Thankfully.
And we had nice brood in there too.
And we had a lot of good brood. The second one we were able to take a little more time to look at. I mean, you saw me on the first one. I was moving so fast I didn't look at anything. But the second one we did get to look at, and aside from the propolis, which was holding the frames to the little top of the nuke, they had a lot of good brood in there. So these, once they settle down, are going to be, I think, strong hives. But what do I know?
But you're going to take care of them, so yeah. I'm sure they'll be good.
Well, and Steve said he even had similar problems putting his nuke in. That these are just unhappy bees today. Obviously, you know, they've traveled here from Norwich and from wherever to get to Norwich, and we aren't even sure when that happened. So they've had a rough couple of days, and they were letting anybody who'd pay attention know. So I did get stung a couple more times, but I think I'm getting immune to it now.
That could be it for the year.
Oh,
we really could be.
We're gonna cross our fingers. From your lips to the bee goddess's ear. All right, thank you everybody for coming. It's getting dark and I'm done for the day. I don't even. We'll deal with compost and garden and all that. Actually, we're not going to deal with anything tomorrow because it's supposed to rain all day. So I don't know if I'll have anything recorded for you tomorrow, but if I do, come back and see what we do. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.